everyone, and welcome back to the Football Fignuts podcast. This is Season 9, Episode 23, all of them put together, stacked up, one by one, like bones. It is 373 episodes. I'm Craig.
I'm Britt.
And I'm Sinch.
And Craig will go to his grave loving the stupid, put all those bones on a plate and stack them joke. And that was like, that had to be 20 years ago.
Yeah, that was the, it was either a WrestleMania pay-per-view or it was the Yankees-Mets Game 1 World Series.
It was Game 1 Yankees-Mets, the game that refused to end.
Yes, and by 2:30 in the morning, none of us cared anymore who won.
Yeah, but nobody wanted to leave because nobody wanted to miss how it ended.
But no one cared how it would end.
Right, we just really wanted to end. Oh my God. All right. Well, guys, it is the opening of free agency. There's already been a ton of moves. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of different things. But first, let's start where we always start. Let's start with Sinch. Sinch, what are you drinking tonight?
I have some cherry vanilla coffee.
Ooh, cherry vanilla coffee.
Interesting combo.
Yes, it's very good.
Is it
iced
iced
I don't really
or
get
hot?
the vanilla. That's my burning hot take question right there. Why is it when you order a hot coffee and it turns cold, it gets colder than when you have an iced coffee that gets warm? It never gets warm. Why is that?
That's a chemistry question, I think.
Yeah, that's chemistry or physics. My guess would be because room temperature isn't an exact number, it's a range, and everything tends to move towards a state of equilibrium. So cold coffee that's getting warmer would move towards the bottom of that range, and hot coffee getting colder would stop at the top of that range. But that's a pure guess.
All right then.
I have no idea. Okay, so Craig, what are you drinking?
So tonight I wanted something that wasn't carbonated, and I don't have any ice made for other things. So I have an iced tea and vodka Surfside because it's, not carbonated.
Ooh. There you go. How much sugar's in that?
I don't know if it's on the can.
Doesn't it have to be?
No, because it was probably on the box. It is not on the can, but yeah, I can find. Oh, wait. It's in very terrible. It's in very terrible font.
It might be a 6. It might be an L.
It's 100 calories. There's 3 grams of carbs, and that's it.
All right, so so no more than 3 grams of sugar then, because sugar is a carb. Okay, that's not terrible. That's not terrible. I might actually be able to drink that. It probably would make me sick, but I could try it. I have diet soda today because I just don't have any beer in the house. I just didn't stop to get beer. So, all right, guys, we just heard Cinch's burning hot take. So let's jump in with the next burning hot take. Craig, what do you got?
Wow, I was waiting, I didn't expect Cinch to have a shotgun burning hot take.
I'm sorry, did I steal yours?
No, I thought I was going to have an extra 3 minutes to think of something.
Do you need me to go first?
Yeah, go first. Yeah.
Okay, because mine is simple and it's along the topics.
Yep.
Yesterday, all hell broke loose because Maxx Crosby, air quotes, failed a physical and now is no longer being traded to the Baltimore Ravens. Everyone and their mother has an opinion on this. There are people saying it was a legit fail of a physical. There are people saying no, that this was they found out that this other guy was available. I'm forgetting who it was they signed. It was one of the guy from the Bengals, right?
Hendrickson. So they found out Hendrickson was available, or Hendrickson was suddenly decided to come down to their number. So they botched the physical on purpose, blah, 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 blah. I'm hearing all these different things. I want to know from you guys, where do you think the truth lies? Was this as simple as a botched physical like Maxx Crosby, who has an injury history, not being able to pass the physical? Or do we think there's some credence to the, wait, whoa, who's available kind of argument? I think it's some weird mix because Crosby hurt his knee in the beginning of last season, and he kept playing for 15 games with a busted knee. So I'm sure whatever that did
made the surgery more complicated?
I have the details.
Oh.
So he tore his meniscus.
Yep.
He played through it. I have a torn meniscus. Anyone who ever tears the meniscus, it's the least important, and you could just kind of go through your life. And when you walk upstairs, that's where you hear the clicking. That's someone with a torn meniscus. So anyway, he had surgery at the end of the season. He's off crutches, I think I read, a week or two. So they knew he's not game ready right now. And they knew this. There's no secret to it. What they heard was that Hendrickson was in the Colts facility or talking with the Colts, and where he wanted $30 million per season, after 2 days, and everyone said, you're not getting $30 million per season. His price was low, and he was going to sign with the Colts. And the Ravens at the same time have never traded a number one pick for a defensive player. Okay. So they got a little hesitant, and they were going to be trading 2 number one picks. Or they could just sign this guy, Hendrickson, who I don't want to say he's just as good, but is very, very good.
Right.
So for them to say he failed a physical, no one said that he would pass a physical right now. The physical, you pass the player knowing that he had this surgery and knowing that he's not game ready right now in March, where you're not playing a game for months. So it was just an excuse. It was, we changed our mind. We don't want to give up 2 number one picks.
So the other thing I've heard in all of this is that they weren't expecting him to be game ready, but when they did the physical, he was not as far along as they had been led to believe. But that also just feels like an excuse to me. So that leads me to the next question. If this is really just buyer's remorse and the Ravens backed out of a legitimate deal just because they saw a shinier object, and listen, who wouldn't rather keep their picks in that situation, right? I mean, that would be the ideal situation. But shouldn't there be some sort of league rule saying once you announce a trade, you're bound by it kind of thing? Am I crazy for thinking that, Sinch?
I think the problem is nowadays the trade could be announced by a player. Just to sidestep this for a second, there was the player on the Packers. His last name was Gary. On a Friday, he put it out a thank you to all the Packer fans, and he's going to miss them and all that stuff. On Saturday, he deleted the post. On Sunday, it was announced that he was traded to the Cowboys. So for whatever reason, he put it out there 2 days before it happened. I don't know specifics, if he could get in trouble, if the trade couldn't officially go through so the other team can change their mind or whatever. I just think that's weird. Nowadays, anyone can say, hey, we've agreed to a trade, and I'm going to be on this team now. And they're holding the baseball hat with that team's name on them. And, the problem is, I think, the official opening of the season was, I think, Tuesday, and Monday is the legal tampering period where you hear all of the free agent signings.
Right.
So until I almost said school year, until the NFL season officially begins, anything that happens doesn't matter. That's like these quarterbacks that are going to be released on June 1st, but now that they've been released.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Craig, what's your take on this? Should there be some sort of repercussion?
I don't think so, because in every contract, there's clauses to get out of them. So I really don't know what kind of repercussion a team could have. I guess you can say it could be viewed as tampering, because what if the Chiefs were talking to Crosby, and then that got announced, and they were like, screw it, we'll sign this other random dude, and then they don't get him. So I kind of see view of it.
How would you like to be the Raiders? Okay, we've got this trade settled. This money is off our books. We're going to have these 2 first-round picks. Talk to the scouts. Who do you think's going to be there? Who are we going to draft? And then knock, knock, hold on. Yeah, we changed our mind. Yeah. So now I would think any team in the league is going to say, I don't want to deal with the Ravens.
Yeah, I would think you'd have to be careful. And I don't know when it happened officially, but Crosby's an edge rusher, right? He's one
him and Hendrickson are the same position.
Right. He's an edge rusher. And the Raiders did decide to re-sign Malcolm Kuntz, who is a young guy. He's 28. I call him a young guy, but he's 28. He had a torn ACL in 2024. And this year he struggled a little bit. But at some point they decided we're going to move Crosby and keep Kuntz. And if this was bang, bang, if this was one of those things where they were at the handshake deal and here's the announcement, and they turn to Kuntz and go, by the way, we are going to re-sign you. You wanted to stay. We're going to re-sign you. Well, now Malcolm Kuntz is sitting with a contract in his hand where the ink isn't even dry. And really now the Raiders are like, did we need to re-sign him? Dude's got a bad ACL. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. And this was Rappaport reported that today, that it was a 1 year, $11 million deal. So, I mean, there's two edges to a line. I know. I get it. But at the same time, I'm like, would they have taken that step if they thought Crosby was going to be landing back in Vegas? You know, there's like repercussions to the whole thing. It's just weird to me.
Well, you know, it's like, all right, so you two are GMs of NFL teams.
Okay.
And you've got the chance, you need to hire a head coach. You have to. And the best available head coach is Josh McDaniels. Mm-hmm. Now, hold on for a second. All right, he's the best available. We're years in the future or whatever. He's the best available.
Okay.
Wouldn't you be hesitant to hire him just based on him saying to the Colts, yes, I'm your guy. I'm going to do it. We're going to be there. He started hiring a staff. And then at the last minute, he changed his mind. He went back to New England. This is the same thing as far as dealing with the Ravens in a trade. You're going to say, I'm going to make a trade with them. And 2 days later, they're going to say, no, we changed our mind.
It's a fair point. And I mean, and it's happened in other situations, not exactly the same, but never forget Andy Reid was in a plane and he was getting ready to go to, he was flying from Philadelphia to Denver. And he got a phone call from the Hunt family and said, hey, you know, could you stop by Kansas City first? And he was like, yeah, I'm in a private plane. I'll just tell them they got to change the flight plan. And that's what they did. And he went to Kansas City, and his plan was to go to Kansas City, have lunch with them, basically tell them thanks, but no thanks, and then go straight to Denver. He was just doing it as a courtesy. And then he never got back on the plane for Denver. He literally picked up the phone and said, guys, thanks so much for the offer, but Kansas City may be an offer I can't refuse. And the rest is history. So has it happened? Yes. Did the Hunt family know that Denver was getting ready to speak to him? Absolutely they did. There is no question in my mind that Kansas City was like, oh, no. You're not going to Denver, man. No. That don't happen. No question in my mind. So yes, weird stuff like this happens. It's just weird to see it in the trade area where there's so much regulation in terms of like salary cap and when things can happen. You know, it's just so weird. We're 2 days into the free agent period for next season. It's already been a weird offseason. So
yeah.
Craig, what do you got?
So mine is.
I bought you 5 minutes. You got to have something.
I do. So mine isn't really a hot take. It's more a question for you, since you're the Chiefs expert.
I am.
Yeah, it's out of the three of us. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know if that's true either. Go
on. So in regard to free agents, the Bengals signed Brian Cook for $40.25 million for 3 years. His hometown is in Cincinnati. Is this a good thing? Because I know nothing about him. Is he good?
What position does he play? Because I don't even know.
He's a safety. Well, okay. So according to NFL.com, he was the best safety on the market.
Hey, Britt.
Yeah.
As bad as the Bengals defense was, I mean, could it be any worse? It's got to be a good thing.
It can always be worse.
I don't know.
You know, I've been listening to Craig for the better part of the last 30 years talk about the Bengals defense being terrible. Their secondary would have 7 picks in a game, but they would get one pass through, and Craig would be see. So I got to be honest. I got to take Craig's criticisms with a grain of salt. Here's what Cook brings to and I'd have to look up the numbers because this is, again, it's burning hot takes, supposed to be off the top of our heads. Cook is very versatile, and that's how I'm reading that in the NFL.com article right now too. His versatility fits perfectly in modern defenses. His versatility means they blitz him. That guy can blitz from the secondary, hit a hole as it opens, and level a running back or a quarterback. And I saw him do it multiple times this year. If there was a safety blitz, he was usually the guy doing it, and he sold it really well, and he's quick. So what it does is it's going to give, coverage-wise, average to above average, I would say. But in terms of his, like, the ability to say, go out there and do a read and cover the deep zone, or go out there and run a safety blitz, or go out there and I want you to read the tight end and pick up the tight end if he gets by the linebacker. He is very good at that. So to a certain extent, and this is where Craig is going to groan, his usefulness in Cincinnati, I think, will be based on coaching. Okay. If the coach is able to sit there and say, okay, we can take advantage of his versatility, then it will be good, because he doesn't telegraph what he's going to do. And that's the best value to him. He's above average. He's a good get for you guys. I will miss him on the Chiefs. So it's a good get. It's a very good get in my opinion.
All right. I'll take it. I'll take that.
Last year's Bengals defense was like Gene Hackman and Hoosiers. Coach, you don't have enough players on the field. No, my team's on the field.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I'm doing a quick live check on his stats last year.
While you're doing that, I'm sorry, you found it? Go ahead.
Yeah, 238 tackles, 3 interceptions, 15 pass deflections. That's his career, by the way. I want to look and see what his go on with what you were going to say, Sinch, because I want to look up and see if he's got any sacks, because he rushes a lot.
I was just curious if the Chiefs were going to play any defense next year, because they lost both cornerbacks to the Rams and now a safety to the Bengals. Are they just going to run the ball and play time of possession battle? And what's the plan there? Is anyone on defense?
And just to drive the point home, he's going to get Donovan McNabb out of retirement to come and back up Mahomes and go back to that full kind of like, Coach, we're down 5 points with 30 seconds to go in the Super Bowl. We're going to go a run. Wait, what?
Use the whole play clock.
Donovan McNabb strolling up to the line like he's got all freaking day. People scream at the TV, there's 12 seconds left.
Hey, so who is the backup now? Because Minshew is a free agent.
I don't know that we have one yet.
Okay.
Let me look. You know what? Here's where I can do that button I was complaining about before and sort by team. Hold on, because I think, where is it? Hold on. My computer is being rude. AFC West. They have not signed a new quarterback yet. Right now, it's Chris Oladokin.
Bless you.
Wait, isn't that the sound effect from Street Fighter?
Yeah. Doesn't he play basketball?
Sounds like a basketball player. And someone named Jake Hayner, who I don't know either of those people. So they're probably looking for a quarterback. I definitely think they're looking to. I really think if you drove by the Kansas City headquarters at some point today, you would see Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy sitting on chairs outside with a sign that says "Free to a good home." So I think the Chiefs are not done making moves. Let's put it that way. I think the Chiefs are not done making moves, but they've already made the greatest move of all time, in my opinion, as they have gotten rid of Jawan Taylor.
he's your favorite.
I cannot tell you, and I've said it on this podcast before, my wife, who does not like football, who only watches it when she's forced to because I'm sitting there, could not tell you a single player's name, number, or position, but she knows Jawan Taylor is number 74. Because every time the Chiefs would have the ball and the ball would be snapped and a flag would go flying straight up in the air, she went, "Oh, that's Taylor again, isn't it?" Yep.
Britt, when I read that, I was so happy for you. I thought, Britt's going to be so happy about this.
It's freaking Christmas, man.
I'm so happy. So happy with it. All right, let's break down some of the moves that have happened. We're going to talk about different positions. So I'm going to use the NFL.com because I already have it up. Rankings. We'll talk about the top folks at each position, where they are, where they may go, those kinds of things. So overall, Malik Willis, I almost called him Mark. Malik Willis was the number one. We know he went to Miami. Right now, Kyler Murray is their number 2 and is floating out there. Kirk Cousins is their number 3 and he's floating out there. And Aaron Rodgers is their number 4 and floating out there. Marcus Mariota stays in Washington. Tua goes to Atlanta. And then the last name on the list, even though I thought he had retired and moved to like a tropical country, is Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo. So I want to start with the easy question. Of the guys that have signed so far, so Tua to Atlanta, Marcus staying in Washington, or Malik Willis going to Miami, who do you like best for that move? Not necessarily the best player here, but who's the best fit? Either of you can go.
I think out of those, I think Malik Willis is because there's Miami's starting over, so he has no really competition. He's going to be the guy in Miami at least for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the weirdest one is Tua going to the Falcons because now they have 2 quarterbacks again, like they did before. So I don't know what they're doing.
Fair. Sinch, which one do you like best?
Well, let me tell you why Craig's wrong. The guy that's best there is going to be Tua. And, I mean, you guys know I have no love for Tua. But you put him in Atlanta, and he's got Kyle Pitts, he's got Bijan Robinson, he's got, I'm in baseball player mode, and I forgot the wide receiver's name, but he's Drake London. He already has targets there. He's got Penix, who hasn't been able to stay healthy in front of him, who is injured now, and who knows when they get to the throwing camps that are, I think they're coming up in like June or May, where they just show up and for 2 days throw the ball back and forth. When they do that, they signed Tua for a reason. I can't tell you what the reason is, but my point being, he's showing up as the number 1 guy is if Penix is still injured. So he's going to be throwing the ball to all these guys. He's giving their brain trust in Atlanta. I mean, it's an oxymoron, but he's giving them the opportunity to shape an offense around Tua. Not that Tua is anything special, but he's shown when he gets back, 3rd, 4th step, throw the ball, he's very good. He's very good on timing. As soon as anything goes wrong, he's very bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's set up the best. Miami, I just think they're starting from they're starting at the bottom. If the Jets weren't in the same division, they would be picked to be in last place.
Mm-hmm.
Britt, what do you think?
I think the Malik Willis thing is intriguing. I'm looking at his stat line from this year as the backup in Green Bay, and he made appearances in 4 games. Love missed time, did he not?
He always misses time.
Right. He missed like 2 games, if I recall. Maybe it was 4, and maybe that's why he had 4 appearances. But they used him in those 4 games. And again, I'd have to go back and look at the tape. So I don't know if maybe one or two of these games played were games were late in the game where he came in and took over so that Love could rest, or the game where Love got injured, he took over at some point. But I'm looking at it. He completed 30 out of 35 passes. He threw 35 passes in 4 games. That's less than 9 passes per game. But he completed 85% of his passes. And he averaged 12 yards per completion. That's pretty solid. And when you look at his QB rating, it has literally gone up every year he's been a pro. It was terrible in Tennessee because it's Tennessee. But it was 124 in 2024, and it was 145 this year. That's his general rating. The QBR, same sort of thing. The QBR was 93 this year. But generally, we're seeing improvement. Could he be really good there? Yeah. But Miami being in rebuild mode is a very good point. And I just don't know. I'll tell you, honestly, what shocks me out of this list is that Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers are both still out there. I don't know that anybody's going to pick up Aaron Rodgers. I really don't.
Well, Pittsburgh wants him back.
They do want him back. Okay.
And
I thought with the change of coach, they might not.
The backup, if he's not there, is Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. So it's going to be crazy to see how this one shakes out, but it's very interesting. I'll be interested to see it. This whole old faces and new places kind of thing will be very interesting to see how it shakes out. All right, let's talk about running backs really quick. So the big news is Kenny Walker, the rookie from Seattle, is now in Kansas City. Very excited for this. So that he was the top, according to NFL.com, he was the top available. I don't know how true that is, but then I read number 2, and number 2 is Travis Etienne, who signed with the Saints, and I feel a lot better about Kenny Walker. Number 3, Kenny Gainwell is in Tampa. I can only presume that Tampa signed him because they have the Giants on their schedule this year. Which leads us to number 4, who is unsigned, is Rachaad White. Rachaad White is floating out there. So that'll be an interesting one. 5 is Rico Dowdle. He's going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then Tyler Algier to the Arizona Cardinals. Sinch, I want to start with you on this one, but it's basically the same idea of a question. Which one of these moves do you like most, and which one of these moves do you like least?
Well, Sinch's rule number 2, don't sign a running back to a second contract unless it's team friendly. Yeah. So I think all of these players are going to underperform their contracts. I'm not saying they're going to be busts. I'm just saying I would not want any of them unless it was for a deal. Now, running backs don't get a lot of money compared to every other position. Like even Walker, I think his contract is only $13 million a season, maybe. It's
$45 million. It's 3 years, $45 million, so up to $15 million a year, and only 28.7 is guaranteed.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not knocking them. I'm not knocking any of them, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of signing running backs once they hit, like 26 is old for a running back. Rachaad White.
All of these guys are over
Rachaad White, it's like, yeah, he could help somebody. He could be good. But I mean, he's just the next version of Aaron Jones, where he's going to sign with someone and be hurt all the time.
Craig, what are your thoughts?
I have to agree with Sinch, because I follow Sinch's rule, and you don't re-sign a running back, unless you really want to for some reason.
I look at this list. I think Kenny Walker has an instant impact in Kansas City, but then I look at the rest of it, and it's kind of like, well, that's nice. Travis Etienne is not going to make the Saints a contender. Kenny Gainwell is not making the Bucs a contender. I had to, when I heard this trade announced, and they were like, Kenny Gainwell, fresh off a 1,000-yard season. I went, Kenny Gainwell had 1,000 yards?
And he caught a lot of passes. He had a very good season.
This year? Or career-wise, he caught 1,000? And it was like, it's this year. I was shocked.
Yeah.
Rico Dowdle to the Steelers. Okay, Rico Dowdle came out the gate so fast that he was the hottest pickup like the first 4 weeks of fantasy football. And then I did not hear his name again down the stretch. So I don't care about Rico Dowdle. And Tyler Algier, I am tired of hearing about Tyler Algier's breakout year. Tyler Algier is the running back version of Daniel Jones, only the Daniel Jones event finally came like 5 years after I said it would. So none of this moves the meter for me other than Kenny Walker. And like you said, Walker's got an injury history. Kansas City is a good landing spot for him. I think he does help there a ton. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see where that goes.
I think the thing to watch with Walker, last year, before Charbonnet got hurt, Walker was on the field like 40% of the time, and Charbonnet was on the field more. After he got hurt, now Walker was fantastic. The playoffs and the Super Bowl, fantastic. I just don't know if he comes into Kansas City and they try to give him 60% and someone else 40%, if he'll hold up and be there at the end.
Yeah. And listen, the Kansas City Chiefs have a long history of bringing in old running backs and then finding out that there's not enough tread left on the tire. For reference, see guys like, I don't know, Marcus Allen, Priest Holmes, that guy from the Cleveland Browns, every Philadelphia Eagle who used to play for Andy Reid.
That guy.
That other guy. Yeah, but there's we like our older running backs, and it usually doesn't work out for us.
Marcus Allen was a good chief.
He was a good chief, but he wasn't Marcus Allen. He wasn't Marcus Allen. You know,
Well,
I mean, he
who
was like
among us
35.
is?
Not very few. Very few of us. All right, wide receivers. Very weak class. Alec Pierce stays with the Indianapolis Colts. He is the top guy on the NFL.com ranking. Rashid Shaheed goes to the Seahawks. Shaheed Seahawks. I'm going to have trouble saying that. Mike Evans, who has been signed by the 49ers. From what I understand, he's dropped 3 passes on his way to the facility. Wan'Dale Robinson signs with the Tennessee Titans. Romeo Doubs goes to New England, which leaves Jawan Jennings and Stephon Diggs out there as still floating in the oblivion. I already know, and I'm going to go first on this one because I'm going to get to it before Sinch does. The best signing of this group is easily Romeo Doubs going to New England. Romeo Doubs has not been world breaker, but he's shown a lot of promise. And I think he could ultimately become a real true number 1 wide receiver, both in real football and in fantasy. And I think New England's a great place for him to do that. I think the Stephon Diggs experiment didn't work so good because Stephon Diggs is Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it's not it was a total bust. Diggs had an okay year, but it wasn't like what they expected and what they were hoping for when he got there. I think Romeo Doubs could be more versatile and more flexible. And I think that he could have a really good time in New England. So that's my pick.
Diggs was fantastic. He had a 1,000-yard season. He was a great leader to the other young players on that team. He joined a team full of a bunch of guys that didn't win anything and got the mindset where they learned how to win games. That's important when you're a bad team. You have to learn how to win. When you got to the end of the season, Diggs got double teamed and he could never get open. And that, along with the off-field part, is why they cut him. I'm not a fan of Romeo Doubs. I did not want them to sign him. I hope you're right. I don't see any of that. I see a guy with a ginormous helmet who gets injured all the time. But I hope he doesn't.
But I do want to put one thing in context before we get Craig's opinion on here. We talk about 1,000-yard season. Do you know how many wide receivers achieved 1,000 or more receiving yards last year?
How many?
75.
Huh, no kidding.
The NFL had 75 wide receivers, according to StatMuse. The NFL had 75 wide receivers.
That's like every team having more than 2.
See, now I'm thinking this is not right. How many wide receivers? Okay, no.
It's got to be like 35.
Correction. So StatMuse, and I'm going to blame AI because I typed it into Google while Sinch was talking, saying he had a 1,000-yard season. I was just thinking to myself, 1,000 yards ain't that special anymore. I wonder how often it happens. The problem was the AI said receivers that had a 1,000-yard season. Well, how many receiving yards were there in the NFL? And StatMuse said, well, there was over 75,000 yards. Well, 75,000 divided by 1,000 is 75. So my bad there for trusting my computer to actually understand count receivers, not yards. So I will find that information while we talk. Craig, what do you think? What do you got?
You mean on who's left or the 75,000 yards receivers?
What's your guess?
The best wide receiver. Yeah, you know what? So you said Sinch said 35. Give me a number while I'm looking it up, and then tell me your thoughts on the free agents.
I'm gonna say 22.
Okay. So tell me about the free agents.
Free agents. Fantasy wise, Alec Pierce made me sad. So.
Oh,
there's that.
What happened?
Yeah, everything.
But he did have 1,000 yards.
He did.
Somebody hug Craig.
Shaheed, I don't know. Kind of indifferent about him. He's one of those guys where he could have 150 yards receiving, or he has 5.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Honestly, I talked to a Titans fan, and he said them signing Robinson was the most exciting thing for him to happen so far this free agency. And then he sent me a sad emoji.
Oh,
do you remember who the new head coach of the Titans is?
Who?
It's former Jets coach Robert Saleh.
Oh, that's
So-
right. That's right.
Is that
And-
where he is now?
And do you know
Yes.
who the offensive coordinator is?
Who?
It's the former Giants head coach that just got fired,
Oh,
Dable?
Dable. So
Brian
either
It's a New
Either-
York
yes.
reunion.
either you have faith in those two guys and you say this guy's going to be good here, or you say, oh my God, Tennessee's a shit show. Good luck.
So Salo have coached the Jets and the Titans, which means he's the next coach of the Browns, which is the trifecta of shit coaching jobs in the NFL.
It means he's on the
Shit done.
hot seat already.
He's already
Yeah.
hot seat. So to answer the question, no, 75 people did not have 1,000 yards. The actual number is 19,
Okay.
and 18 of them were, 20. 20 of them, because 2 people tied for 19th. A.J. Brown and Alec Pierce both had the same number, so it's technically 20. But 19 of the 20 were wide receivers. The lone non-wide receiver to have 1,000 yards receiving was Trey McBride. And the next, the closest that was a running back was, of course, Christian McCaffrey, your friend and mine, who had 924 yards receiving. Oh my God. That guy had more receiving yards. Okay. 10 seconds side. The list of people that Christian McCaffrey out-received in terms of yardage. Ready?
Yeah.
Drake London, Jalen Waddle, Jawan Johnson, Travis Kelce, DK Metcalf, Parker Washington, T. Higgins, Jacoby Myers, Devontae Adams, Lad McConkey.
Yep.
Oh my-
And he did all of that with that electrical facility right on side of the practice field.
and Romeo Dubs, by the way, he outperformed Romeo Dubs. But I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's a running back. Is he the only running back in this list? No, Bijan Robinson had 820. He's 32nd on the list. There's a couple of tight ends sprinkled in here and there, but they're the only running backs on the list. That is hysterical to me. Who had a better year receiving the ball, Drake London or Christian McCaffrey? And the answer is Christian McCaffrey.
How did McCaffrey stay healthy when every other 49er got hurt this year? That's insane.
I
That's
don't know.
impressive.
He played all 17 games.
That's
all 17
impressive.
games, which is always our knock on him, right? We do this every year where we talk about we love Christian McCaffrey, but and if Craig drafts him, he dies. So the important thing is for Craig just to never draft him again. It'll be fine. Everything will be okay.
Or Sean.
Or Sean. Let's talk tight ends right now, real quick, and then we'll wrap up.
Pick one.
Tight end. Yeah. Tight end for me in 2025 was just a bottomless pit of despair. Like,
Yeah.
Isaiah Likely has a big game and then disappears for 6 weeks. Like he's on a milk carton level gone. And I don't get it. So this year, the top free agent was Cade Otton, and he is staying in Tampa.
Yep.
Isaiah Likely goes to the New York Giants, where his 1 game a year will now become 0 games a year. Oh God, why did Okonkwo have to move? Okonkwo signs with the Commanders because I can never say his first name. Shizojum, whatever. The number 4 best available tight end is a guy I've never heard of named Charlie Kolar. Does anybody know this guy?
Yeah. I've heard his name.
That's better than me. Dallas Goedert is floating in the nether right next to Darren Waller and David Njoku. So I want to ask a different question here. There's 3 guys out there, all veteran tight ends, in Goddard, Waller, and Njoku. There's the old, what they call it, marry, fuck, date, where you pick one to marry because they're a keeper, you pick one to screw around with because they're good in a short time, and there's one to date you just don't really want to, or it was marry, fuck, kill. I guess marry, fuck, kill is the name of the guy. Kill is the one you don't want.
Yeah.
Which is the one is a keeper? Which is the one that's good in the short term? Which is the one you just want to shoot in the face? Craig, start with you. Which one's the
So
keeper?
it's
Goddard, Waller, or Njoku?
So which way is this the keeper?
Yeah, which one is a keeper to you? Which one would you want to have on your team and consider him a long-term? You would sign him to more than a 2-year deal. Let's put it that way.
Probably
They're all old. They're all in their 30s. So
probably Njoku.
which one would you shoot in the face?
Waller.
Okay. Sinch, which one are you marrying?
I think I agree with Craig.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I feel like David. Listen,
the problem with David Njoku, part of the problem with David Njoku is he's played his entire career in Cleveland.
Yeah, that's going to hurt anybody's career.
Dallas Goedert at 31, the production was there, as NFL.com says, but he wasn't moving as well. Like, I didn't feel like his release off the line was good, so it limited his opportunities. That's the one thing you can say about Travis. Travis Kelce's hands aren't what they used to be, but Travis gets off the line pretty quick still, generally speaking. He's definitely slower, but I feel like the slowdown for Goddard was a lot more pronounced. So, well, gentlemen, we hit all the important positions. Just so you know, in case you were wondering, according to NFL.com, Jawan Taylor is the number 4 best available offensive lineman, which does not say much about any of the other guys.
I bet the Giants are going to sign him.
He should go to the Bengals.
No, the Giants. He should go to the
They need help on the line.
No.
I would not curse any team with that man's presence. Not my worst enemy would I curse with their presence. So.
Even the Raiders?
All right. Even the Raiders.
Wow.
Even the Raiders. So, all right, guys, let's move on to final thoughts. Let's throw to Craig first. Craig, what's your final thought this week?
Final thoughts, the football season is going to come back before you know it. And this is the time of year you really have to pay attention if you're in Dynasty. Because, people move around.
Off-season in Dynasty.
Nope. So, yeah, that's it for me.
Oh, Sinch, what are you thinking about as we go into the off-season stuff?
My final take is just kind of a statement that's a little bit of a trivia question, but we're not going to go on a long time trying to answer the question. But
okay,
so here's my thought. From 2010 to 2019, there were 29 first-round quarterbacks drafted.
Wow.
There are 3 that have remained with their team. Do you want to guess the 3?
Since 2010 to 2019?
Yes, 29 quarterbacks drafted in the first round, and only 3 are still on the team that drafted them.
Still on the team?
Yes.
Well, one's got to be Mahomes.
Yes. This isn't hard. They've got to be pretty good to be drafted that long ago and still be on that team.
Yep. And so what was the
I
year
need to
again?
look at those teams.
2000 what?
From 2010 to 2019.
I just need to see a list of teams in front of me.
Well, I'll just tell you.
Right.
No.
Let's you want to do it?
Give us each a strike on this. We each get to get one wrong.
Yeah.
Nope.
What about Lamar Jackson?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh,
So that's 2. We're missing 1, Craig.
That was going to be my guess.
Well,
I don't remember when people were drafted.
Is it Dak Prescott?
Yep.
No. I don't think he was a first-round pick.
So I'm out. Okay, I'm out. Dak Prescott was my wrong.
I would just say this way. If I said to you, name the 5 top quarterbacks in the NFL, the answer is going to be in there. I think all 3 of them. So you got Mahomes, you got Lamar Jackson. What other quarterback do you say is among the best?
Is he drafted?
Not Burrow. You're the only one that puts him in the top 5.
Oh, geez, we're not going there. It's got to be Josh Allen.
It's Josh Allen. So what does that tell you? That 26 first-round picks have been released or traded or whatever from the team that traded them.
Mm-hmm.
That just means that all of these guys that go nuts, the season ends and you hear maybe there's 1 quarterback that'll go in the first round. And then by the time we get to the combine, by the time we get to the draft, there's 4 guys that are going to go in the first round because it's quarterback and the position's so important.
Right.
So I don't really have an overall reason for all that. I just thought that was an interesting statement.
It is. And final thoughts, what final thoughts are for. But I am shocked you did not go to baseball.
I could go to baseball. I could go to baseball all night long.
I'm shocked that I threw it to you and said, Cinch, what's your final thought? And I went, here comes the countdown to opening day. He's got it in his head.
It's 2 weeks from we're under 2 weeks.
Last week of March, right? Oh, it's almost
the
time.
25th, I think.
It's almost time for my yearly tradition to send that Family Guy clip to Sean.
God.
How about the fact that Italy beat the U.S. and they're in jeopardy of being knocked out of the WBC?
Do you know who is the coach of Italy or the manager?
Not only do I not know, I don't even care.
It's Jorge Posada.
Never mind. I didn't think he was Italian.
Oh, I don't know.
Hey, what are we talking about here?
If he was Italian, wouldn't his name be, "Hey, Georgie, how you doing?"
So the good news is that Italy is playing Mexico tonight. And if Italy beats Mexico, the U.S. is in. I was listening to a show this morning, and they were like, the tiebreaker in the World Baseball Classic is so bizarre. Mm-hmm. It has to do with runs scored per out obtained. Mm-hmm. So it's just so people are like, well, does U.S. have the tiebreaker over Mexico if Mexico wins? And most people who are in the know were like, well, it really depends. I mean, how many runs do you expect Mexico to score? And how many runs do you expect Italy to score tonight? And there's like no easy answer. You know, in most of our pro sports, it's like, oh, well, talk about divisional record or conference record, things like that. No, in the World Baseball Classic, we need a full-blown calculator formula. Somebody's got to get out their TI-45 and start pushing the cosine button to try and figure out who advances. It's wild, but Italy is winning at the moment. So right now we're in good shape. If Italy wins this game, the U.S. advances.
If I'm not wrong, Mexico would have to win by less than 5 runs scored.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So like if Italy loses 2-1, I'm lost. I think the U.S. is in, but really, when's the regular season start? Can we get all the players back to their teams? I'm so happy for all these players and all these fans that watch and go absolutely nuts. I just could not care any less than I do.
We are already into sack races on non-consecutive Sunday territory here, folks. Which, if you don't know what that means, go watch the movie Basketball and try to figure out their playoff system. And when you will, it is hysterical how they do it. So, so that I applaud Sinch for bringing out the football and the baseball knowledge in his final thought. My final thought is just that it's starting to warm up outside, guys. It is a great time of year. My suggestion this year is I want you guys all to go out and see a sporting event that you normally would not go to, or go see a level that you wouldn't normally go to see. My wife looked at me yesterday and said, "You know what I want to do this year?" And I said, "What's that, honey?" And she said, "I want to go to a Yard Goats game." What? And I said, "You want to go to a Hartford Yard Goats game?" And she goes, "Yep, I want to go to a Yard Goats game." And I said, "We will make that happen." And I said, "That is a great idea." The three of us live within an hour or two of New York, give or take, depending on your method of travel, blah, 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 hour to 2 hours tops from New York.
Not for long.
So we have not for long. Yes. That'll be changing soon too. But we are all spoiled in that regard, but there's so many great minor league sport teams out there. There are professional soccer teams that are starting up in our area. You know, just go out there and enjoy some sports and enjoy some live sports. Which reminds me, one quick thing before I wanted to tell you guys before we get into sign-off mode. Did you see the food item that the Yard Goats are going to have for their Eras night?
Yeah.
Yes.
When you go there, you should order it if they still have it.
So I'm going to tell our listeners what it is. The Hartford Yard Goats on one night this year are offering a 2-foot-long hot dog. That's correct. 24 inches of wiener meat with 11 donuts on top of it, a ketchup and mustard drizzle, candied sprinkles, and they're serving it on an entire loaf of Italian bread. Would you guys eat it?
I would try it.
I mean, I don't expect you to eat the whole thing.
I would try a piece of it. I would.
You would try a piece of it? Sinch, would you try the crazy donut hot dog?
I'm not a child anymore. I can't have donuts and sprinkly sugar things on top of a hot dog with mustard and ketchup. Now, I'm on board. 2-foot-long hot dog. I could do that. On Italian bread, yeah, make it a challenge. I could do that. Put chili, put sauerkraut, put onions, mustard. Yeah, I'm on. I'll try it. When you start putting donuts on it, I love donuts, but I don't want a donut on a hot dog with ketchup.
But would you
Who wants a donut with mustard?
Would you eat a burger with a donut as the bun?
No. Again, I'm not a child anymore. When I was 18, I would have eaten anything. Now I'm I'm to the age where whatever I eat's going to bother me. So,
That's fair.
You know, I mean, I'm not doing that.
That's fair. Our stomachs have taken the whimsy out of life, but what can you do? You can put some whimsy back into life by leaving us a review wherever you found us. Usually it's on Apple, but whatever podcast directory you came across us on and gave us a listen, we'd really appreciate some feedback and a rating. You can also reach out to us. The offseason is the perfect time. You got a dynasty question? You want a question about the draft? Go ahead, write us. You can reach us at fignutsdfs@gmail.com. Again, that's fignutsdfs@gmail.com. Gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. It was great to chat with you and get caught up on some of the crazy moves. Really appreciate it. Sinch for hopping out at the last moment. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
So we will see you guys very soon. But until we speak next, my name is Britt.
I'm Craig.
And I'm Sinch.
And we are the Football Fignuts Podcast. Hi, Deb.